Action.
Somebody who is the head of federal law enforcement, I could not comment on the particulars of the case, but what I could say was that Trayvon could have been my son. And the fact that not just Trayvon, but every single day, there were young men of color who were being shot and killed. We care about you, we believe in you, and we are going to make sure that you have the opportunities and chances to move forward just like everybody else. And so it's out of that we decided to set up My Brother's Keeper.
The first 100 days determines what the president's agenda is going to be. In the first 100 days, Barack Obama came in, he passed legislation for a very specific group of people. But then later on in his presidency, he brought out the My Brother's Keeper initiative. But the My Brother's Keeper initiative, it was aimed towards men, but there was no legislation, no policy behind it. Each one, teach one, stick out your hand and raise them up. And everything that happens in our modern day society, in this matriarchal society, is based on y'all have to go get it and you have to bear the burden of our society. You have to do all the suffering. Nobody wants to suffer equally like us men.
No one. You said it best. I'm going to say it again.
What's up?
That women want the social equality. They would prefer the social place in terms of finance, but they don't want the social responsibility. I don't think anybody wants the social responsibility that a heterosexual man has, if we're just being honest. And I'm saying it like that because I feel like we have the most unique place in society right now because everyone's pointing the finger at us. Everyone's saying that we're a bigot. Everyone's saying that we're screwed up for being who we are when we're just being a man. We're just being what God has created us to be and called us to be, natural men who take care of our families. We're securing our masculinity. There's certain things that we don't like, that we don't prefer, and we're being called bigots for that.
They'll call me a white supremacist because I will double down on conservative ideology. Conservative ideology is simply having a family, having family structure, and then going to work every day, paying your taxes and supporting your community. That's a conservative ideology. Liberal ideology is I deserve to get it just because I exist. And that doesn't exist in anywhere in the whole entire world, not in the natural world, not in the political spectrum. Hey, anybody who has any type of idea, if you're not willing to defend that idea, then you're expecting you and I to come and defend that idea. We're both veterans of the United States military. They're expecting us to go die to support their ideas. And I'm like, yo, man, what's going on?
I really don't know what's going on. And I think that's what's confusing. I think there's just a perversion of society. There's a perversion of ideals. And it's based in sex. I'm just going to be honest with you. I think it's our perversion of sex, wanting to do what we want to do. And it's disorderly. It's taking away the order of our country. It's taking away the order of our society. And if you want order, which men, righteous men should be of order, if you want that, then you're out of order.
That word you just used right now is such a good word. You said righteous. And to be righteous, you have to be a person of character. If I chose to be, I could be a sexual deviant right now. I could have 3 girlfriends and 3 baby mamas if I wanted to participate in this deviancy that's happening. But somehow we're legislating sexuality and saying that everyone has the right to their own sexual proclivities. Do I? Can I have 7 baby mamas without you having an opinion about my behavior? And just because I have the skills of masculinity, I have some life experience and I can talk to a person in a compassionate, empathetic way, but still be powerful, she's going to come out them draws real quick.
Yeah.
They're going to give me that sweet cookie as much as I possibly want. But then because I have the capacity to get a lot of cookie, you look at me and tell me that I'm a bigot, a white supremacist, or a toxic masculinity. And I'm like, nah, man, the game of life is about power. And if you want me to fight for you, you have to acknowledge that I have the power to fight.
Because of brave, strong, brute men.
Hell yeah.
Is why we have the right to be as weak as we want to be.
The brutes, man.
We can be as weak as we want to be right now because of the strong men that have gone before us, the hardened men that have gone before us, the men that could take a joke. All of these jokes, there was no cancel culture back then. You know, all the things that make you so sensitive because of men not being as sensitive as they were in the past is why we can be as sensitive and as dainty as a society as we want to be now. I think we forget that.
women-dominated media has softened the way that we can speak, because now with social media is the most powerful thing that has ever existed, because everyone has a voice. But just because you can talk doesn't mean that I'm supposed to respect your ideas. You have to go and show me that the idea has some value. And when it comes to anti-human ideology, there has never been any civilization that has solely been based on homosexuality, because you have to procreate to have people. And if we don't understand that, if we try to run away from this basic fact on humanity, it's going to destroy our culture. It's already destroying our culture.
I'm gonna say this.
Yes, sir.
This might be one to catch, because every time we get around each other, we're saying something controversial. You can do what you want to do in your bedroom.
Hell yeah.
You can do. Listen, we understand in the world of sex, people like a lot of different things. The issue is when we begin to make laws about what you like to do in your bedroom as an actual right, a civil right of yours. That's the issue. Like comparing civil rights of black people to the civil rights of people that want to have sex in the way they want to me is the most erroneous thing in humanity. How do you even do that? You cannot do that. Like me being born a black man,
yes.
I had no choice in this matter.
Right.
No, we can see that I don't have a choice. I don't know what you're choosing. You say it's not a choice, and it's probably not, because I don't understand the spectrum of human sexuality. But no matter what, to say, hey, I can wake up one day and I'm a girl, and that's the same as you being a black man or any minority struggling with basic civil rights, human civil rights, is ridiculous.
Right now, based on whatever these social ideas are, right now at this very moment, as we're talking right now, I'm coming out right now. I'm transitioning right now at this very moment, at this very second. Breaking news: I am now a black woman, and you must respect me as such. I need every law that protects women and black women. I want them to all come to be with me right now. Now, I just came out in this conversation. I felt my feminism running through my veins, and then I had the thought, hey, just because I have a penis doesn't mean that I'm not a woman. How about that? You can't even argue that, because I'm using your own logic. And now you're going to tell me I'm being silly. Now, if I'm being silly, what are you being?
Ridiculous. Like now we also have this thing to where you have these grown men that are saying that they're young little girls.
You cannot be a woman just because you say you're a woman.
I have been saying this for the longest.
Say it again.
We are a perverted nation. And if you know history, because history repeats itself, perverted nations will crumble because perversion allows for disorderly conduct. And when you have disorderly conduct and you make disorderly conduct law, then you are very vulnerable at this point, because without order, you don't have any civility. You don't have any, I guess I just made up a word, but there is no civilization. There is no modern civilization.
When you say words like order, all of a sudden an entire black community, black folks, an entire black community is going to say you're espousing white supremacist ideology because you believe in law and order. Everybody's supposed to run around and do exactly what they want to do with no consequences. It's like, hold on, man, you're ignoring civilization. You're ignoring the basis of what a community is, or what a society is. It's a collection of individuals working together for the common good of all of the people. And promoting any type of ideology that does not produce life is not in the good of any of us.
No. Listen, black people, your views are more aligned with conservative white people than you're willing to agree with.
They should be.
And they should be. This isn't about racism at this point. We're talking about how do you live your life on a day-to-day basis. It's more aligned with white conservative views. That's just what it is. You do need police officers, but here's the issue.
Yes.
We'd rather entertain who's snitching and who's not snitching. Black men, we would rather entertain that versus why don't we get into law enforcement? Why don't we get into the law? Let me tell you something. The laws of this country run this land, and we need to be involved in it. There are people like you and me who are judges. There are people like you and me who are lawyers and police officers who make the decisions.
The greatest American alive. The greatest American alive. The greatest American alive. The greatest American alive. The greatest American alive.